Shannon, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing very good. And welcome to Bollywood Life. Welcome. Thank you for taking out this time and joining us for this live session. We are very happy to welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, we would like to know how are you doing over there? How are things over there? We heard that the situation is quite uncertain over there. It's a little worrying. So how are you doing? How's the situation around you?
Yeah, I mean, as you've heard on the news, the situation is getting crazier day by day, especially in New York. So, I live in LA, so I'm trying my best to not go out and, strictly stay in lockdown and try to tell everybody to make sure that they have their masks on and gloves and, just to not leave the house unless it's really important. So, just keeping everybody safe. Yeah.
Shannon, if you had the opportunity before all this took place, before all this broke out, before you
Mhm.
could say the world went upside down,
Mhm.
given the opportunity, would you have rather come back to India and been under lockdown over here with your family if you had the chance?
Um, I mean, I was planning to come down to India for to promote my new single, I Do, and and I was just about to plan all that stuff, but like, the pandemic happened and everything, and all the flights got canceled. Though my dad is still in India, so it's
Yeah.
obviously been really hard because we missed him a lot, and it's been a month over, and we're not really sure when this whole thing would die down. So, but we're trying to, like, be in touch through FaceTime, thank goodness, of technology, and try to stay connected with him. Calling him every now and then to check up on him. So yeah, I mean, it would have been harder if I would have been in India because my sister and my mom lives here with me. But I really wish that all of us would have been together at this
Yeah.
crisis.
Speaking about your new single, like you had mentioned, you were about to come away and promote it. I do.
Yeah.
The single, it is this. It has this flavor which I've seen in your other songs also. You bring in the best of the West from there, but there's also deeply. It's also rooted in some Indianness,
Hmm.
and you managed to strike this balance. And I could even saw that flavor in I Do. So plus, I think you have collaborated with some renowned artists for the song also. So just take us through that.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, always trying to put my roots and ethnicity into my music because, as we all know, India is so beautiful, and the culture, the music, it's so um, amazing and mesmerizing. And I feel like a lot of that is missing over here, and I feel like the way to stand out, especially for like a South Asian brown girl like myself, to come down to America and to be an independent artist and like write her own songs and do things. It gets really hard, but when I try to put like elements, like specific Indian elements or sounds or melody, that's when like things start to change and they sound really different, and a lot of people really like it here. So yeah, it's just the way of like me representing myself, my country, where I'm from, and also showcasing the beautiful Indian tradition and music that we have. So yeah, and coming to I Do, it's been a amazing experience working with Infinity, who's the producer of the song, and we actually shot the video in India, so it was really fun. It was like my first time filming in India for my music videos, and yeah, I mean, it just went really great. I feel like my whole team, which was like female oriented team, they all had like this amazing creative ideas, and they brought it to the table, and it was just perfect. I felt like we all connected on the spot. Even when it was like me recording at the studio, I think it was like it took me 7 to 8 hours to like come up with an idea, write it, and then record it, and then we were done. So yeah, it was just really fast, and I feel like when you know what you want to write about, that's when like things just go in a flow, and you don't have to really worry about it.
True.
But yeah, it was just such a beautiful experience working with everybody. And we had an amazing actor on board as well, Nishan Dayani. And he's just so humble and sweet, and I absolutely loved working with everybody on this project.
Even in your very first song, a long time, it
Mm-hmm.
was you had collaborated with Pooh, who
Yeah.
was the producer, yes, and song and has been a songwriter for Justin Bieber. So
Mm-hmm.
coming here from here and establishing yourself over there, was it not very difficult considering in your very first song you got to collaborate with such big names? So how was the journey? How has the journey been?
Well, the journey has obviously been quite challenging. I felt like, as an artist and as being Kumar Sanu's daughter, I had to always make sure to, show people that I have the ability, the talent, because a lot of times people just judged me based on the fact that I am a celebrity kid and I'm not that talented, and it's just that.
Even in America?
Yeah, I actually live here in LA.
So over there also they judged you on the basis that you're Kumar Sanu's daughter?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I start, I used to like introduce myself and talk about my dad and everything, and they would just like, be like, okay, well, are you actually talented, or are you just, using your dad's name? Which is why I was like, no, I'm not gonna use my dad's name. I'm gonna be my own artist. I'm gonna, stand on my 2 feet. And yeah, and I feel like my sister and I, we've written like so many songs together, and we work as a team, and that was something that caught people's eyes, especially Pooh Bears. He really loved my songs. The one I wrote for Justin Bieber was called Pretty Eyes, and he heard that, he liked my voice, and yeah, we were just in the studio coming up with like this amazing song. So yeah, it was definitely a journey, a lot of it a learning experience, because he's such a great artist himself, and he's amazing songwriter. So for me, it was a whole lot of learning experience, and I was just very fortunate and lucky to have worked with him. So yeah.
So how popular are Kumar Sanu ji's songs in America? And I'm not just talking about the expat Indian diaspora over there. I'm talking about the general population over there. How popular are Kumar Sanu ji's songs?
Um, I'd say they're popular. I mean, it's always interesting to get their reaction when I say, "Oh, he's a legendary Bollywood singer," and sometimes they're like, "Oh yeah, I know him. I've heard a couple of his songs and everything," and it just it feels really nice, and I feel very proud of my dad that even all the way across the ocean, there are people who love him and admire him, and they all kind of like say how amazing of an artist and a person he is. So it always feels really great to hear all that.
Shannon, wouldn't it have been much easier for you as an artist to have made it in Bollywood, considering what a big name your dad has been over? You're a legendary name, to truth be told. So, did it ever strike you? Did you ever feel like making it over here in Bollywood rather than over there in the States?
um I don't know, actually. It never did, because I was born in India, and then I was raised in London, so I didn't really get that opportunity to learn Hindi music and to learn Hindi and everything. So which is why I can't speak Hindi that much, but I'm trying. So yeah, and I've always been into English music, always hearing English songs, and even my idols like Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, all these people I've grown up listening to. So yeah, I feel like from the moment, like day one, I knew that I wanted to be um, an international pop star. So yeah, and I feel like if I were to start in India, I would have gotten like a lot of uh, judgment and criticism because
Ooh.
I would have like a lot of comparison between,
Yeah,
my dad and I, and and I still do, even though we're like poles apart from each other, I still get like a lot of comparison. But yeah, I mean, if I would have been in Bollywood, then it would have been uh, a lot more harder. I feel like, but it's not like it's easy over here either. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to like go back to Bollywood as well, like sing a couple of Hindi songs. I actually recently debuted.
Himesh Resha, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Happy Hearty and you.
Mhm. Yeah, the Doogie song. So yeah, I'm just kind of like, opening. I'm not gonna close any doors right now, and I mean, I love Hindi music. I love Bollywood music. I love it so much, and I'm trying to like, listen to more Bollywood songs, listen to, to get inspired by that and everything, and yeah, I mean, music has no language, no religion, no gender, which is why music is like the most pure thing ever. I mean, you could sing in English, but you could be connected to someone who doesn't speak English or understand at all.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so that's what my goal is, like to be like my dad and to achieve all of that, whether I do it here or in Bollywood or anywhere. So yeah.
So if you see, if you observe it in the West and not just in America, many other countries, even through Europe, even Britain has this big music industry where the you cut records with labels and you get record deals, and that's how artists come up, and that's how they recognize, and then they go on the Billboard charts, and
Hmm.
that's how they become names. But over here, if you see in India, over here you don't get record deals. It's all about film music, be it
Yeah.
any language. It's never about your deal as a solo artist. So
Hmm.
why do you think so? That's the difference over there compared to our music over here.
Um, I feel like over here it's like two separate things, like movies and songs. I feel like uh yeah, I mean, singing in movies is like very very rare over here, whereas in Bollywood it's like all merged together.
Yeah,
So yeah, and I feel like that's kind of like the beauty of it, because like if you get a chance to sing in a Bollywood movie, that's cool. That's what they've been doing it for so many years. And over here it's always been like, if you're in music, you're an artist, and that's what you do. And then sometimes once in a while you get a chance to sing in a English movie, but yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong in it. I mean, I would love to sing in movies. As long as I'm singing, I'm good.
which have been your favorite songs of your dad, and is there any song you would like to recreate, probably in English?
Ooh, um, I mean, I love all of his songs, but uh, "Jab Koi Baat Bigar Jaye" is one of my favorites.
Jur.
Um, yeah, I love it, and there are just so many songs that I would love to recreate them again, and put my own creation in it, and remake it in a way where people who don't really listen to Hindi music or aren't really aware of that sort of style would really want to get into it. So yeah.
How about collaborating with Kumar Sanuji? Have you all ever discussed that?
Yeah, we actually did collaborate on a song, on a private song, called "It's Magical," and yeah, it was really great. I mean, I'm always really nervous around him because he's such a big legend. I mean, he's sung over 25,000 songs, so it's always nerve-wracking to make sure that whatever is it that I'm doing it like perfectly. And I feel like his feedbacks, his opinion really matter to me as an artist. Um, and so yeah, and it was just amazing experience to see how how it's all done, how a legend is um, does his own charm and work and everything, and I would love to honestly sing with him and collaborate with him again.
Okay, how are the fan reactions that you've experienced over there? Because we want to know it firsthand from an American artist. If you must have heard stories, your father has been mobbed here several times
Hmm.
whenever he has been, or especially the 90s and early 2000s. Do you have the same kind of crazy fans, the same kind of insane fan following when you go out there doing shows in the West?
um I'd say not as crazy as that. I feel like I still have to work my way up there. But yeah, I do have fans. I mean, I've performed around the states. Uh, for a while now. I performed at Virginia, performed in Washington D.C., New Jersey, and yeah, a lot of my fans are actually from there, and it's always really good to interact with them, and communicate with them and sing for them. Um, and yeah, I mean, they're always like, on my Insta, like asking when I would come back again to perform and everything. And I really love performing for them. Unfortunately, I haven't really been performing much because I just graduated from high school last year. So, you know, it was just
You're a
more of,
prodigy.
sorry?
You're a prodigy.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, I've just been like concentrating on my school right now at the moment, but thank goodness it's all over and now I can, shift my gear to music, and hopefully I'll be able to get back on stage by next year or this year if this whole thing dies down.
Okay, quickly, three questions. What has been the most memorable fan reaction you have encountered? What has been the scariest episode? And which have been your most memorable collaborations with artists? Because I know you collaborated with some big names. So, which have been your most memorable ones?
Okay, so what was the first question?
Your most memorable, your most loved fan reaction till now.
Oh, okay. Most loved fan. Okay, this one really particularly touched my heart because this was on when I released my anti-bullying song called "Give Me Your Hand," and it was just so overwhelming for me because I had shared my experiences about bullying and how I got through it, and how I went into depression and I came out, and it was just for me to spread awareness and to also encourage people to not be depressed because at times you can get low, and I had this um, this fan of mine who had been in depression for a really long time, and he just couldn't get over it, but he heard my music and he loved it so much, and my music helped him, my song helped him to overcome his depression, and he started to get more positive, and he had been like he tried to commit suicide a couple of times, but he gave me a text, he commented under my YouTube, and he said thank you for you know changing my life and saving me, and I feel like that moment was absolutely dear to my heart, because when people connect to your song and when people can feel that emotion, and when you try to change people and give them that positivity, it's really um, that's when it's like very satisfying as an artist. So for me that was like the most memorable moment.
The
And
scariest episode?
scariest episode. Uh, well, I have terrible stage frights. Um, so I actually have two. The first one was when I first performed with my dad on stage, and it was like absolutely scary. I was totally nervous and I had no idea what was going on. But I went through it and I did it all. And then it turned out to be really great. And the second most scariest episode was also related to live music when I first uh, sang "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston, and that song is like an iconic song ever. So, and a lot of people have you know, a lot of connection to that song. So it was a whole lot of pressure to not mess that up, and thankfully I didn't. So I would say these two are the scariest moments.
Okay, soon. Now, obviously, being a singer, these are requests that cannot be avoided. So, our viewers would like to hear you sing a song, one of your songs, else probably, preferably, I do. And also, if you could sing a few lines from one of your dad's songs, probably Jab Koi Baat Bigar Jaye, since you said that you love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, do if you could just render a few of these lines, we'd really be happy.
Okay, yeah, sure. All right. So, do you want me to start with my song or my dad's?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Whatever you are comfortable with.
All right. So, I'll sing my song first. I do. I don't care, but I see you everywhere. No, it's for the best, but I still miss you anyway. You made it look so easy. I swear I tried. Believe me, but I can't leave her behind, even though I start making sense. 'Cause every single place that we went to, seen them all change. No, we're not the same as we were then. But I still feel them, I guess. Who's coming back around again? There's you, I can get you out my head, but you bet you think I don't remember, but I do, I do, I do. So that was I
Wow.
do. Thank you. And yeah, जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए. I apologize if I messed up or mispronounced the words. जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए, जब कोई मुश्किल पड़ जाए, तुम देना साथ मेरा, ओ हमनवा. न कोई है, न कोई था जिंदगी में तुम्हारे सिवा, तुम देना साथ मेरा, ओ हमनवा. Thank you.
Amazing, Shannon. I need to give you a round of applause right now. I
Thank
wish you do sing this in English one day
you.
because, I mean, you're tailor made for this. Imagine the hysteria, Kumar Sanu's daughter singing Jab Koi Baat Bigar Jaye in English. And like you have said, without a studio, without the backing, without auto tuning, fantastic job.
Thank you.
Fantastic job. Before we wind up, a very quick rapid fire. This has come from viewers. They would like to give you a travel-based rapid fire. So quickly, a few questions, and we would like spontaneous answers from you. Okay?
Okay.
Since you're shutting usually America, India, and probably you've been raised in London, so this is tailor-made for you. Okay, so what has been your favorite place to travel so far, and any memories you would like to share?
Oh, my favorite place to travel, definitely New York. It's the city that never sleeps, and I've had a lot of memories there. Celebrating Christmas, New Year's. So yeah, it's my favorite place.
What do you prefer, solo traveling or traveling with a partner or your family?
Um, Definitely family. I mean, it's always fun to travel with family and take pictures and just create memories with them. So yeah, traveling with family.
True. What, according to you, is the most romantic destination in the world and why?
Oh, I'd say either Paris or Greece. Paris because it's known for the
It's
most romantic
Paris.
destination and the Eiffel Tower and everything, and it's just so beautiful. And I'd say Greece because I love Greece, and I've never really traveled there, but yeah. So I definitely say Greece and Paris.
What is the quirkiest thing you have done while on vacation?
Quirkiest thing? I don't know actually. I don't think I've ever done anything quirky.
Okay, so you're a very sedate traveler.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, I must have, so I would have to ask my family members.
Cool. We'll leave it at that. Next, What according to you are the best travel locations that most people haven't heard of?
Ooh, um, I'd say Egypt. Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice. How many photos on an average do you click while you're on vacation?
I'd say I take about like thousands, and then I
Wow.
delete 1,000, and then I'll just pick one to post.
Okay.
Because, angles matter,
Yes.
so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you research or read a lot online reviews and such before making your reservations and picking your locations, or do you do it spur of the moment?
Mm, yeah, definitely, look at internet and look through it and see the reviews and everything. And yeah, just go for it.
Which country, according to you, makes the best tea or coffee?
Tea, I'd say India. um, I think I've had like the most delicious tea in India, and coffee, I'd say here in LA.
Yeah, obvious. How many foreign words have you learned so far while on vacation?
None. I'm terrible at learning foreign languages. I think you should just know how to say food, restaurant, and toilet, and I think you're
Yeah,
you're good to go.
that gets
That's
you everywhere.
no, and
Cool.
thank you.
What's the best piece of travel advice you've ever received?
This piece of chocolate advice. I don't know. Not at the moment, but I feel like in the future it would definitely be to wear your masks and gloves while traveling.
Very prudent.
Yeah.
And finally, what's your favorite childhood holiday memory?
Going to Florida, and going to Disneyland. Yeah, that's been my most memorable childhood moment of traveling.
Okay. So before we wind this up, Shannon, you have been really amazing. You have been such a sport. It was wonderful
Thank
talking
you.
to you. Any of your future projects you would like to tell your fans about, which they could look forward to?
Yes. So I've also been working on my new single, which is titled Knock Knock. And again, it's got like a lot of Indian, tradition and culture in it. I filmed it in Jaipur at Mandora Palace and Fort. And it was just, a beautiful experience for me. So yeah, I'm super excited for all my fans to hear the music, to watch the video, and I can't wait for the world to look at it.